All right. Welcome back, everybody, to Somewhat On Point. Live edition. Well, not live. We're not live, but, we're actually here.
Yeah.
We're on camera.
We're on camera for once
Face
because
reveals.
we have done, in the past, we have done recaps of mostly Xbox shows. But this Nintendo Direct had us all just wired. And, our group chat was going crazy all morning. Introduction. We don't do this enough anymore. I'm your host, Matt. And as always, we have
Luke.
And Brandon.
Okay, there we go. Now you have faces to match with the voices for, the maybe two people who listen to us who don't know who we are. Okay, so let's get this video going because we actually have a couple things to watch today. Yonk.
Yonk.
And then yonk.
Double yonk.
If y'all want me to pause, just let me know.
Okay.
Because I think...
Yeah,
okay.
spacebar.
Yep. If y'all want it louder, if it's too loud, just,
That's good for now.
should be fine.
Oh, I'm fine.
It's actually very, very low on the mixer as far as the thing, but...
I totally missed the beginning.
So, yeah, they're going to talk about it a little bit. I watched a little bit of the Treehouse stuff.
Mm-hmm.
In the last couple of days.
Yeah, your regular Grand Prix mode, instead of just being 4 races, is the 4 races plus the race to the next race. So it's 7 total.
Yeah, all of the tracks in this game exist in one open world.
I heard about that.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it's not like they set up a bunch of roads and said, oh, this is a track. No, they did the tracks and then they connected them realistically.
Yep.
So it's really cool.
And there will be sort of endurance mode, where it's like, one long-ass race.
You are literally the only
which-
person I've heard mention that, and that makes perfect sense.
Of course. I'm the racing guy.
I like that they showed off the knockout mode, which is kind of like your endurance.
Yeah.
Where it's going to go across the world, basically. They'll have it mapped out. And then
They look like cow from
at
Cow
each
and Chicken.
checkpoint, if you're not in a good enough place, you're out.
Fuck?
Yeah. You can jump on the thing, on the truck, and it'll just
Yeah.
plow ahead for you.
Yeah, they talk about the food thing and
Oh,
the treehouse thing.
Yeah, so the vehicles are all... I don't think they're customizable anymore. I believe but there's a lot of options.
Mhm.
They have a bike that is clearly inspired by the... What is it? The G... Oh, God, I forgot the model number. But it's the one that Maverick rode in the first Top Gun.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
nice.
Yes.
皆さんこんにちは任天堂ダイレクトの案内役を務めます任天堂の川本です
I don't remember when I
任天
came
堂
into
スイッ
this,
チ2の
actually.
プロデューサーを担
Well,
当しています
good. We get to watch the whole thing.
太田です
And we'll just cut out the boring bits.
佐々木です任天堂スイッチ2の本体
I guess I'm going to
設計を
save
担当
my
しています
question for much later because,
Yes.
as far as I remember, they don't actually mention what I'm going to mention.
Okay. Yeah, we'll save it for the end. Also, I think it'd be pretty funny if we all introduced ourselves in Japanese one time. Oh, the rail riding is absolutely inspired by Sonic Adventure.
Yeah.
100%, because you can jump between them as well.
They even do wall riding.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw the wall
But
riding.
it's not like it was in Mario Kart 8 where it's designated sections. It's like, oh, look, there's a wall. I'm going to jump and go sideways now.
Yep.
And I say that sarcastically, but it's actually a really cool element to it, to add to it.
I'm looking forward to the chaos of 24-player races,
Oh, yeah.
because that's just wild. It was, what, 12 before? 12 is the most?
Sounds right. I think
Yep.
so.
Yep.
In the classic Grand Prix, race through 4 courses in a bid for first
I guess we'll
place.
see how well their
But don't sleep at the wheel.
online
You'll
works.
survive to the next
Traditionally,
It's always been pretty good.
even back to Mario Kart DS, the online has been really smooth.
Yeah.
The biggest issue is
I'm saying because-
snakers and assholes.
Because there are going to be so many players.
Introducing
Yeah, I mean-
Knockout Tour.
It's not a big deal. I mean, a single player takes almost no bandwidth.
Yeah, it's amazing how little bandwidth gaming takes.
Yeah. The main reason you want the faster speeds is not for the game itself. It's because the faster speeds lend itself to lower latency.
Yeah,
Yep.
that I knew.
So there's the knockout mode that it's talking about.
In Assetto Corsa Evo, which is, I think it's still in early release right now, but it is playable. There will be an open world area around the Nürburgring
and even
that's,
take photos together
I
at
think,
different
mostly to
locations.
scale for the size of the map that they're doing.
Hmm.
So you can drive around like normal, like kind of like Forza Horizon, where you just drive around, do whatever, and then you can just go on the track and race, like, you know, the normal
That's
thing,
cool.
which is pretty wild. And you see free roam on here made me
Yeah.
think about it.
Starts here.
Whenever they're showing us off in the treehouse, they showed off that during your free roam, there are NPCs on the racetracks racing.
Yeah.
So you can go and mess with them.
Yeah.
More detail.
I wonder if they're gonna address the elephant in the room in that.
What?
I saw a cow. I didn't see any
price.
elephants.
Oh, the price?
Yeah.
I mean,
They might-
They don't talk about pricing in this video.
I know.
They might by the 17th when it said that was going to be showing.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
So we'll see.
What's the one? They had one where it's like wheelchairs playing a
Yeah.
basketball game
Yes.
and you roll.
Yeah, you like roll forward. They're probably about to
Yeah.
show it. Yeah, like you roll forward like this, and then you
Yes.
can throw.
Yeah.
It's like really intuitive motion for that, you know, because you're
Right.
Yeah,
right.
whenever I saw that, my first thought was comparing it to the VR game Gorilla Tag.
yeah.
I've never heard of that.
It's you wouldn't. I'll put it that way. It is definitely nowhere near your wheelhouse.
Uh-huh.
But the locomotion in the game is essentially you're a digital gorilla with no legs. So it's all arms.
Wow.
So you like run
Okay.
around on your arms all like
Okay.
Donkey Kong style. You can swing from branches and all that.
With this feature, you'll be able to communicate with friends.
Oh, I was about to say, who's entering what chat? I don't have anything up.
As long as there's a way to change that from a full screen thing to an overlay, I'm cool with it. I am curious to see how their noise canceling works in actual practice.
Yeah.
Because it can be pretty good.
I mean, my thing is, I try not to. If anybody else is home, I don't want to bother them. You know, especially if I'm in a group chat, like we're talking, voice chat, whatever.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, if I'm doing something else and, you know, she's playing something, I don't really want to hear all the conversation and all that stuff. That's, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I wouldn't want to disturb others, but that's just me.
I've gotten a lot more accustomed to like actual headphones as opposed to.
Yeah.
You know, the native screen sharing is a good idea, though.
You can chat to your heart's content.
And the fact that it's backwards compatible with the Switch 1 games.
Yeah.
They added it to the OS level, so it doesn't depend on the game at all.
And at least all the other games, when you're not focused on them, they're running at a lower frame rate. So
Yeah, no processing, no real bandwidth hit.
So what are they like? All playing different games but sharing
Yeah,
to
it's
each
Discord.
other?
Yeah, it's Discord.
Okay.
You know, as opposed to Nintendo, I don't know, playing with anybody else. Cough, Apple, cough.
right.
And actually, I think that's the only thing missing from the Discord. I don't know. Doesn't the Discord on consoles now allow you to do that?
Screen share?
Yeah, I think so.
I haven't tried. Me and him have screen shared through PlayStation
Yeah.
chat.
Yeah.
We've been doing that.
But I don't know if
I think
Discord wide
I
would.
think Discord
Discord,
does.
I mean, yeah, in the app lets you do it. I don't know if it lets you do it on console.
I think it does.
We should
Or
try.
there's some level of it.
We should definitely try. Yeah, because I mean, he and I have used screen share a few times. Like when I got to watch him play the end of Final Fantasy VII Remake, and
I literally took control of your game on
Yeah.
Castlevania.
that was so cool. I had it was that one item I couldn't get, and I don't even know if.
that's actually kind of cool that they green screen it.
Oh yeah.
Hi, how's everyone doing?
I tell you what, the fake conversation dialogue in this is not as egregious as it usually is.
Oh God, no.
Because it's like that's a
Well, because this is more natural. They're just talking like
well,
they're supposed
yeah,
to be
but
friends.
there have been plenty of other examples in the past where
No.
they're showing. I think Anthem was like that. Anthem
That's what I
was
was gonna say.
really
Anthem
bad.
was,
There's-
Anthem was bad, and damn it, you mentioned it earlier.
Division.
Division was really
Division
bad.
was really
oh
bad.
my God.
But no, that's what I'm referring to. See, here they're just talking to each other like they're friends, as opposed
Yep.
to being in a game and trying to strategize.
But the thing
Right.
is that do you think they actually had 4
no,
like sets and they were actually set up in a LAN environment to where they could actually play
No.
together and talk to each other? Or
no.
I think they actually had him take. I think they actually had him take him home and do this. I don't.
this
I don't-
part maybe, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it was all setup.
Was his Pro controller like white and black?
Yes,
I actually
the
like
the
that.
new one has I think it's kind of a gray, like a silver color up on top.
I am
Um,
like PlayStation broke me for that. I always wanted just the black stuff, and now I like the white and black.
Yeah, I like it too. Oh, I saw a PlayStation Edge controller in the wild.
Oh, really?
It's ugly.
In the wild. Yeah, I don't like it.
I don't like it either.
I don't like it. It has less battery life than the normal PlayStation controller, and the whole reason for its existence, the being able to switch out the thumbsticks, isn't as good as it was
Promised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, at this point, especially, have you seen how expensive the controllers are?
For this? No, I haven't seen
90.
90?
90.
Yeah, to buy a set.
Oh, for the set of Joy-Cons?
Yes.
Oh, that's. I think the old ones were what 70
I think so.
for the original
So-
Joy-Cons. So that tracks
My
with the
point-
extra technology
My
in
point
it.
is, why the hell aren't they doing Hall effects?
That's my big question.
Yeah, I don't
Why?
know. I don't know.
And the only answer is because they will sell more if they don't. Because when they
Oh,
break, you're gonna
sort of
have to buy
like
more.
sort of like a planned obsolescence.
Yes.
I don't think that's the case. I think either somebody fucked up with the original contract with the company that was allowing that,
Yeah.
or there is some sort of contractual or patent issue with the Hall effects that is not well known.
Okay, so with this, you can only share with one other console unless it's on a family plan, right?
I don't have a lot of details on
Yeah,
that yet.
I didn't look into this, but I was confused by that as well. Like, who you can actually share it with.
I don't believe the game share is limited to. Well, I think it may be like you said, where outside of the family,
Yeah.
it's one other place,
Yeah.
and it can only. I think the maximum was what, 2 weeks. They said?
It was 2-week maximum. Yeah.
Which is fine because you just reissue it to them after another 2
Yeah.
weeks if they need it.
Yep.
But that's one of those things that Xbox tried to do that when the one launched and
I know.
backfired because
It's-
Microsoft is horrible at explaining things.
How many things that were in that dreadful Xbox One X launch is now that everybody hated is now a thing. Almost all of it, right?
Yeah, because Microsoft is usually way ahead of the market's readiness for their things, and they're really bad at explaining the
Yeah.
concept and the benefits.
Yeah.
So it ends up backfiring, and then someone else comes along, does the exact same process, and they get praised for
To
it.
be fair, people aren't happy about the fact that for most games you have to be connected to online for it to work properly.
But that's just stupid anyway.
Yeah.
But they're arguing about the daily check-in and the loaning and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and being able to sell the games and all that.
That was what 2013.
That sounds right.
Mm.
That sounds right.
Sounds right, yeah.
Okay. It's been.
Yeah, it was because
I don't know why I remember that.
the reboot of Tomb Raider came out right as that was launching because it was cross-generational.
Yes.
Yes.
So if we think back to 2013, which the 2010s are a blur to me. Like I'm serious. How many people were always online at that point? I mean, it should be a good chunk.
It was a good
not
chunk.
not nearly to the degree we have now.
Right.
Which, yes, technology advancing, but also the post-COVID world. Everybody had to get connected. You
Yeah.
know, everybody did. It's incredibly rare to find
And when your
somebody
shit
who
was
doesn't
down,
have internet
you
service at their
couldn't do
house.
anything.
Yeah, it became a point during the COVID lockdown that basically if you were not connected, you didn't survive. You didn't operate.
Yeah.
You were shut down. So you had no
Yeah.
choice.
So like obviously, and like we were discussing with this, they said that or with the original Switch for the retro channels, you just check in once a week or once every 2 weeks
Something like that, yeah.
or once a week I think it was. You just if you get online,
Retro
That's
channels?
Yes.
we were talking about that the other day. The being able to play the console games offline.
Oh.
The
NES, Super NES,
the classic games,
Yeah.
classic collection. Yeah, that was a once a week check-in. You're allowed to use them for a week offline. So all that ultimately is oh, my week is up. Go find a goddamn McDonald's and check in for 5 minutes.
Yeah. Well, I remember when I took my Switch on a cruise, I ended up having to put I couldn't put you're limited in the number of devices you can put on Wi-Fi,
Mm-hmm.
and I couldn't play the retro stuff. I ended up playing Final Fantasy 4 pretty much all of my downtime, where I was just sitting in the room late at night,
4?
couldn't sleep. Yeah, 4. Mm-hmm. I got through a lot of it too, and it was funny too because playing through it, I didn't remember.
Pixel remaster?
Yeah, I didn't remember anything.
Yeah.
Even though I played the PSP version, which
Dude,
we've discussed before.
It has been so long, I
Yeah.
don't remember much.
I don't remember. legitimately, I remember
just the big
Cecil
story
and
beats.
Kane,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and that's it.
And him becoming a holy knight after being a dark knight. Well, technically paladin, I think they call it.
Yeah,
Although
Paladin, I think.
I don't know what the Pixel remastered. They might have changed the wording for that shit.
Yeah, it's Oh, also the actual Switch 2 game cards.
Oh, the original Switch only had 32
Yes.
gigs.
Yep.
Yeah, we all bought SD cards.
Yeah.
Or micro SD cards. And actually, they show
But
when they show that it's like a specific time.
My God, the requirement for accessories for Nintendo is insane.
Yes. Yes.
Fuck.
I mean, but to be fair, we put drives in our PlayStation 5s, and
Not now.
well, you did.
Yeah, I did, and it freaking died.
Yeah, and then we had external hard drives for our Xbox. So how's that any different?
and also the Switch games.
It wasn't-
Remember, the Switch games are the size of the previous generation.
Yeah.
We're not talking about 25 gig games here.
Yeah,
We're talking
no.
about like 6.
25 gig. What kind of small games you've been playing?
The
Everything I play now is like 80 to 100. It's insane.
Don't talk to me about Borderlands 3's 190 something gigs on PC. I don't want to hear it.
cries in Call of Duty. No,
Yes. Yes.
no, Breath and Tears are both 17 to 18 gigs,
Wow.
And that's the Switch versions.
and that's the first Switch version.
Because
Yeah.
I
the
wonder how
Wii
much
U version
bigger- I wonder
of
how
Breath
much
is only
bigger
like
this-
9.
I wonder how much bigger the Switch 2 edition version
I
is.
don't care.
No, I'm curious to
Yeah.
see what the jump is going to be.
There may not be one because they haven't said
Well, it's supposed
they
to
haven't
be in
said
4K.
that doesn't matter.
It's
That's a rendering change. That's a setting.
Okay.
So if they may actually do things like upscale the pre-rendered videos, they may do
that
something
case-
with the textures.
in
We
that
don't
case,
know
I
yet.
just
I wonder
realized
if it'll look. if it
we've been
won't
blocking
look
the
like-
subtitles this whole time.
Oh.
Oh, well.
Well, you were the one that didn't want to do the dub.
I'm fine to not doing the dub. There we go.
Okay, there we go. It's fixed. Whatever.
Jackass.
Anybody
Hey,
who's
it's
watching
it's
this
our
by now-
first time trying this.
Yeah, yeah.
Anybody who's
The
watched
fact
this at
that I
this
got it
point
all
probably watched
working
it anyway.
I mean, other than that display issue we had right before we started, setting all this shit up this morning actually went really smooth.
Yeah.
Which is the reason why you had that issue right before we went
Yeah,
live.
yeah, because Murphy's Law.
Issue tax.
Um,
Ooh, steel buttons. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So the game carts are not actually going to contain the game.
Yes, they will.
They will.
There's 2 different carts.
Oh, really?
Some of the game carts will actually have the game. Some of them will just be a download key.
Are they going to differentiate?
Yes.
Like
They are
the actual
differentiated on the cart and on the packaging.
Okay, that's what I was looking for. Is there something that tells you that before you buy it?
So
Yes.
why would you buy a physical copy of a digital key?
Agree.
I mean, I'm fine with the games being digital. Like, granted, because we haven't had a rash of license revokes. You know.
I was curious about that myself. I don't quite see the point of it.
Yeah.
Unless you can
If-
still technically resell it because it's a digital key.
That's one of the things that's a possibility because it does not attach to your
Yeah.
account. You still have to have the key to play the game.
Okay, so
In that case, you
But
can
you
still
would-
resell it.
you would need the key, but you would need to put the key in the console for it to work.
Correct.
So if I
Like 360 games on Xbox One, you're not running off the disc.
the disc is just the key.
Right.
Yes.
It actually downloads and installs the game.
Yeah.
And won't let you play unless you have a
Now
disc
you
in
see,
the console.
and like, okay, now here's another question because you brought this up when they showed this. They're like, I wonder if they taste different
I do wonder.
or if they taste worse. I want to know: does the actual game disc or the digital game disc, are those going to taste different?
They're probably going to taste the same.
I'm being facetious.
That would be.
Oh, you better believe I'm licking my fucking game. That's gonna happen.
I had that the one with the star. That's the one I have in my Switch.
Yeah.
I bought that one
They
specifically.
did good because they did not. The branded ones are not egregiously more expensive.
No, they're not.
They're about the same price.
When I was thinking about buying the OLED, I was going to get, there was a Zelda one.
Yeah.
I was
Isn't that
totally
the
gonna get
biggest
I think
one?
I don't remember, but that one was the biggest one I saw when I went get one.
Yeah, I want to say they had 3 of them. I think the Zelda was the biggest. It's like a 512 or something.
Yep.
Oh, okay. I see. It's just the top.
Yeah, it's just the top, but
Even still.
I hope it feels more premium than the first Pro controller because the Switch 1 Pro controller does not. It feels. It's like any cheaper, and it would feel like a cheap controller. It still feels okay.
Like it feels like a decent third-party controller.
What,
Yeah, it feels like a good third-party controller.
Yeah.
what you're saying is it doesn't have any weight to it.
Not so much. It has a couple little vibration motors, but yeah, it is the lightest out of all the modern controllers.
That's one of the biggest things about a light controller is the vibrations will eventually start to make it make sound.
But at the same time, you'd also get stronger vibrations from a lighter controller.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same concept as a steering wheel in a racing sim. The lighter it is, the snappier it can be. Whereas if it's a heavier rim, you're going to get a little bit of dampened effect because of the weight of it. So that's something that a lot of people take into consideration when they're looking at multi-hundred or $1,000 wheels. Which it is amazing the amount of $1,200 to $1,600 racing wheels there are on the market.
That's insane.
And trust me, I would own most of them because they're all really, really nice.
Yeah, this is where they're talking about the that they are offering upgrade packs for some Switch 1 games.
And those are going to be free upgrades to anybody who owns it, right?
Nope, they're paid.
Yep.
Oh, they're paid.
They're
All
paid.
of them.
All of them.
Okay.
The only ones that they've announced otherwise are the 2 Zelda games for free if you're a member of the
Online.
I think it's
Online
even the
and
expanded
expansion.
online.
It's expanded online, yes, which I mean to me is worth it. Especially since more of the retro consoles that you can play are on the expanded one now. Because on the default one you only get NES, SNES, and Game Boy. If you want GBA,
Yeah, they
N64, GameCube,
do make it a quite a good value.
it is a
honestly.
very good value.
I
Yes.
wonder how much money they've made off of basically having people rent games that they played 20 or 30 years ago.
You don't want to know.
No.
It's going to be a lot.
Look,
Because the
that's
general-
one of those existential things you just don't look into too closely.
The general public isn't running emulators.
That's true, too. I actually was curious. Once I get my Switch 2, I think if I can, I want to make my Switch into an emu box of some kind.
Remind me.
Because I don't really want to sell it, because I just have the Zelda controllers, and I don't want to give those up. So
Remind me. When did you get your Switch?
it's not the first generation.
Then you're not going to be able to do shit.
Oh, well.
It's going to be hardware mod only.
Oh, gotcha. Damn.
Yeah, I know, right?
Damn.
Well, if anybody wants to donate some Joy-Cons so I don't have to give up my Zelda Joy-Cons when I trade the thing in, then...
Yeah, there's no soft mod for it. The only soft mod that I came up with was fixed in the second revision.
I had the launch day one too, and I traded it because it was looking at least a year and a half to 2 years before
anything you wanted to
anything I
play.
wanted was coming out, and I already played Breath of the Wild a few times, and I think at that point I had it on my PC anyway. So, but
I think this is about where I came in.
Mario Party Jamboree.
I think so.
Very quiet, Luke.
I think I was far away from it. Oh, actually, no. I
don't
think
know.
you might have fixed something.
It's
'cause now
the-
I sound louder to me.
I really need to take that apart and clean it properly because it's very dusty. You gotta remember, I've had that thing for like 8 years now. Because
Yeah.
you do realize we started this podcast 8 years ago, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we've now devolved to doing about once or twice a year.
If that.
Yeah.
If I even put them out, which I'm sitting on 2 episodes right now that I'm probably not even going to put out.
I would say once a year is more than normal.
At
I
this
say,
point,
normally we wouldn't normally bother getting together for a Nintendo one. We'd do like the Xbox,
Yeah.
PS5, and
yeah.
call it a day.
Well, then should we do?
If
Should
only-
we live stream?
If only Summer Game Fest were good like E3 used to be.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Well, I was going to say, should we Summer Game Fest or VGAs?
I mean,
live stream.
I mean, I'm down for either
I'm
one.
good with either. I mean, we're always
Yep.
we're always. I mean, that's
Like,
one
we
thing we
usually-
actually do every year is the VGAs.
Just look at it. Just look at it.
Yeah, I've seen it.
It's so pretty.
Is this? Oh, it's the second one. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's tears. That's something I need to pop back
What
into
is
and
this?
finish.
So this is basic. So there's a few things you can do with this. You can.
Companion app.
It's a companion app. You can have it up as a GPS with voice directions. It's not exactly 1-to-1. There's a little bit of delay. It's like every couple seconds it'll update where you're at. But it has daily bonus, which will give you something. It's like a roulette. You get a free item or something. And then there's another thing that's really cool where if you're linked up with your friends, you can share items, weapons, swords, bows, shields.
Auto build schematics.
Auto build schematics. That's going to be
That's-
fun. I
that's
want to
gonna
go
be
find
a-
Metal Gear.
Yeah, those schematics are actually really cool to mess with.
But yeah, if like, let's say you're playing and you're stuck at a spot where you need a certain kind of weapon and you don't have any of the item, you can be like, "Hey, do you have this?" And I can be like, "Sure," and I can just send it to you. We can just exchange. You can't do it. It's just basic items, and then swords, shields, and bows, not armor, obviously, or key items.
right, the armor in the game is permanent, so that would just be wrong.
But I mean, I can imagine. Could you imagine like somebody farming materials for upgrading the armor
Oh, dude,
and selling them or something?
Yeah.
Making like a
farm the
a
top tier
sub-market.
stuff.
I mean,
Oh, you know
Yeah.
somebody's gonna do it. They're gonna have their they're gonna go form a Discord. It's like, yeah, send me. It's like, you want 100 of these? Send me $15.
yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. There you go.
Yeah, did y'all watch the video I had linked that showed the?
Okay, I'm sorry.
Did y'all watch the video that showed the side by side
No.
of Zelda or Prime?
Prime?
What is it featuring with the side by side?
It's a side by side comparison of the Switch 1 and 2 editions.
Oh no, I haven't seen that. I have seen the Zelda ones, which
The,
I want to look up later. We can look it up after.
Yeah, so it's the texture quality is improved.
Mm-hmm.
Frame rate, of course, is improved, and the draw distance is about the same. It's actually, the Switch does really well with it, but it is a noticeable difference
Yeah.
on the Switch 2 version.
What mode were y'all play on? Would you do 4K 60 or would you
I'd
worry
do
about
4K.
I'd be 4K 60.
Yeah,
4K.
because I mean, it's 60. You know?
60.
If it was 4K 30 or
Right.
like it's
correct.
like how most of PlayStation before the Pro, you know, if it's 4K 30 or
1440,
1440, 1080, 60, I
60.
usually would go for yeah, it's like with
before Pro, I played everything in performance. Period.
yeah,
Everything.
yeah.
Because 30 is not good enough.
It's not. I remember I used to complain. I was like, we don't need more than 30 FPS because I remember playing Halo Anniversary Edition with the classic graphics in 60 frames a second. Really put me off, and I didn't realize that's what it was for a very long time. So
When you do that.
Yeah, I'm not. I do make use of the higher frame rates for like multiplayer stuff. Like, I'll run Call of Duty in 120 mode,
here's your wheelchair game. I think.
Probably.
but I'm not for a single player game. I don't need the extra 120.
Yeah.
I don't. It doesn't matter.
I'd rather it look prettier.
This feels like this generation's ARMS. Doesn't it?
A little bit. Yeah, they can make that like a little $20 download game, and it'd be perfect.
Now, what I want to know, mouse mode, does it need to be on a surface?
Yes. But it can be. But people have like played it on their leg and shit.
I was about to say, you could
Well,
probably
and that's
use
the
your
thing.
leg.
Maximilian Dude, when they revealed the Switch 2, they
Mhm.
showed the Joy-Con rolling in mouse mode. We didn't know what that was.
Yeah.
And he grabbed some Joy-Cons and he had his knees all up and he's doing this number here. And he actually had a sub goal, a bet for subs that if this direct would show anybody do it on their body, like on their knees specifically, he would give like 100 subs to his chat or something like that. He also made a 5,000 gift sub bet that Bloodborne 2 would appear on this direct, and dude, the fact that it's like could be even called in the question that he should pay that up is like remarkable.
Yeah. Yeah, that game honestly just looks like an uninspired Rocket League knockoff.
Yeah.
I have long observed the lands between.
This game was so good.
This
I fucking loved it.
I still can't believe you played this.
Me either. It literally, the hype of it when it came out, like I had FOMO, and the fact that George R. Martin was involved in writing it, and then I actually watched like the cinematics and shit. I was like, dude, this just looks too cool to pass up. Like I think I really need to try it. And
had you actually played any of the Dark Souls games?
I have played, as in like the very beginning, because I got too frustrated too quick. The original Demon Souls, the first Dark Souls.
I didn't realize you played Demon Souls.
I think I tried Dark Souls 3 before I played Elden Ring, so I've tried them. I understood.
I got really far into Dark Souls 3, and for some reason just stopped and never picked it back up. This I'm looking forward to, but this is something I don't want to play in early access. I want to play the full game.
They are, from watching AJ play this, they are treating the early access as a hybrid of early access and live service.
Really?
They actually.
What does that even mean?
I mean, the way the game was working, as they're adding features, they're also changing, like tweaking features. There are pieces, there are parts in the game that are happening because the game acknowledges that it's an early access game.
Oh.
So they're not just blindly adding shit. You're not hitting like a dead end saying, oh, this is all we got. There's actually pieces that are like, because this is an early access game, this is how this part works. But it's presented in world. So it's kind of neat.
Interesting.
They've added quite a bit over the past, 6 months to a year that it's been.
That one, because it's a roguelite, it does kind of lend itself a little bit more to early access. Not quite as much as Into the Dead or Darkest Days does, though.
Right.
But what's the other one? There's another one that's in early access that I want. No Rest for the Wicked. That one I'm not playing until it's completely done.
Yeah, that's fine.
This game looks pretty cool.
The hell is this? Arsenal?
No, it's got like the weirdest, coolest name I've ever seen.
Oh wait,
in a game.
I think
I can't remember what it is though.
It almost looks like if they gave the Anthem IP to a Japanese company.
Yeah.
I was thinking
That's
it
really
looks
what
like
this looks
the when you're in Mech and Xenogears.
Yep.
Bring hope to our lives.
Daemon Machina?
Don't they?
Titanic Scion.
Hey, this is Joseph Forrest from Hazelight.
Oh, this is the point where they had people,
Yeah.
like all kinds of people from across the industry.
Yeah, this is all their partners, and it'll end with the not Bloodborne 2 trailer.
Yeah, I do actually want to play through that. A Way Out was phenomenal. I would love to play through that again.
Let me tell you this. If you like It Takes
The
Two,
real problem is
you'll love this one.
that
Trust
no
me.
That
one
has
wants
to be
play it.
local multiplayer, right?
No,
Able to
not at
play
all.
Split Fiction on the day, switch to
Even playing online, it maintains the split screen elements.
We're bringing fans together across
Isn't that's
the
part of
world, both on the pitch
the mechanics of it
and
though, right? That you can see the other.
excited to announce the EA
Not
Sports
necessarily.
It's not
just a
important.
presentation.
Okay.
thing.
What was the other one they did?
They did A Way Out, It Takes Two, and now
A Way Out was
Split Fiction.
A Way Out was the one I was trying to think of.
Yeah, A Way Out was
That was the prison one, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I played
remember you talking
through
about
that one
that
in
one.
one sitting with someone local.
Yeah. I remember you talking about it.
It's one of those games. It's like I'd love for someone else to actually play through it because there's stuff I want to talk about.
I played this on the PS5 Pro, and it's like sort of higher whatever, like I forget what the mode is, but it's basically like 1440p or 4K with 60 frames a second. It is not running 60 frames a second. It's probably running at about 40 or
I was
45.
going to say you may be talking about the 40 FPS mode.
Oh, is it actually 40? I thought it was supposed. Well, okay.
What it does is it will run. The sync rate is 120.
Oh,
but it will run at 40, which is a third of that.
Right. Yeah.
So instead of it syncing at 60 or syncing at 120 and running 30, it'll run at 60 and run 30, or it'll do 120 and run 40. That's something that was actually pioneered on PS4, but PS5, but a lot of developers are realizing that's actually a really good idea. If your game can run solid 30, but not 60, but you have enough overhead to go 40, do that. Because all it is just running at a third the sync rate,
Gotcha.
so it still evens out.
Damn, that looks really good.
IO Interactive is making a 007 game.
Yeah, they show that at the end of this.
I kind of want to play that again. They took a couple of Hitman games and combined them into one Hitman.
It just hasn't been the same in a long time. Somebody pointed out the other day, and I never realized it, they never play the music in Casino Royale until the very end.
Yeah. Because that's like when he becomes James Bond.
Yeah.
You know, James Bond. Because before that, he's just James Bond. But after that movie, he's James Bond. Everybody thought this was Final Fantasy IX. She looks like Garnet.
Well,
she looks like Garnet.
They've been kind of like talking about it in leaks forever.
Oh,
so
yeah. It's, yeah.
Somebody was talking about it being more than just a remaster.
I mean, they could make it with graphics similar to this, because the original game was kind of this style a little bit too, you know?
Well,
like a deformed character.
I can't remember who was talking about it, but they were saying the rumor is that it's not going to be just a straight up remaster, that they're going to remake some parts of it, kind of like what they did with the Pixel remasters.
I mean, that'd be great.
Slap my volume a little bit. I'm like dead.
Yeah, you were.
There we go.
There we go. Okay. Nope, it's still in and out. I think I'm okay now.
I think you're okay. That was the first time I noticed it too, and I was like, "Oh, let me fix that."
Oh, I'd been talking louder and louder each time. That's why I was making up for it, but it got too much.
I mean, just say it. It's not like you can be like, "Fix it." You know.
I thought about it. I was like, "Wait, I'm on camera."
Yeah, you're on camera. It don't matter.
I was gonna say, "Hey, Matt, tweak my knob."
Hey. I'm glad they kept that sound effect.
But it needs to make the sound effect when you put the.
They do.
Oh, it does?
Yeah. When you slide a Joy-Con on and the console's on, it makes the sound.
Oh my God. Okay, never mind.
And
I forget you don't own one.
And honestly, the physical sound of the connection is close.
Yeah.
That was something talked about at the launch.
Wow.
Thank you.
Okay. That hopefully will keep it good for a while.
Yeah, probably so. But yeah, that's something they were talking about at Switch 1 launch, is that the physical design, they wanted it to mesh with the digital design of it.
Yeah.
So they paid attention to things like the sound of the actual click when you connect it.
That right there makes it look like you can just walk around like in Tears, for example.
And
you know, instead of just always being in combat or in menus, which is how the Warriors games always worked.
Right.
I tell you what, though, I don't even know why I didn't consider this being a possibility. Because and it's like, because you always hear about the ancient wars in Zelda games, and it's like Nintendo probably never wanted to actually make that game, but if they're willing to hand it off to another developer that's good at large scale combat, especially if they make it, they literally, it looks exactly like, it's not like Koei Tecmo's version of Zelda.
Right.
Hyrule Warrior, the first Hyrule Warriors was kind of like that.
Is this so? This is the Dynasty Warriors game?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
I was going to say that's what it feels like.
It is exactly who it is.
Dynasty Warriors game engine with
okay.
Tears of the Kingdom graphics engine.
Yes. And that's the thing. Like the first Hyrule Warriors, I did play it, and it is it's an original story. Well, they all are technically, but the first one was a mashup of all the different eras of the old games meeting together. And it was cool, but I just couldn't really gel with that much.
Right.
But with Age of Calamity, considering that you're playing the Calamity that you hear so much about and get little glimpses of in Breath of the Wild, and the fact that it looks like the graphics and most of the UI and the sound effects and the voice actors are exactly the same as Breath of the Wild. Literally the game
immersion.
Yes, it makes it feel like it's part of the world. Now it is an original story, and it actually is not canon because it's actually a time travel thing, and you actually succeed instead of the calamity happening. You actually beat Ganon. So now that's potential for future stories in an alternate timeline, which Zelda is not shy about having.
Right.
But supposedly the one for Tears here is going to it's subtitled "The Story That Leads into Tears of the Kingdom."
I saw that.
Not a story.
Right.
The story.
Yeah.
So everybody's thinking this is actually going to be canon. And I mean, it'll end with a victory with Ganon being defeated, which is how getting imprisoned. That's the whole point of calling it the imprisonment.
And I was going to say that actually is canonical for Tears of the Kingdom.
Yes.
Because they are successful. He does get imprisoned.
There he is. I am so hyped for the fucking GameCube games because the first 3 they're adding, I'm gonna play all 3 of them.
Oh yeah,
just straight up.
The number of people who were like freaking out on Soul Calibur 2,
dude, it's
because that's the last game you'd expect them to put on the service.
And if you ask those who are fans of the series, arguably it's still the best one.
Yeah.
And yeah, they did make an HD release of it on more modern consoles, but it didn't have Link in it. And that's what everybody wanted. I mean, yeah, it had Hayachi and Spawn from the PlayStation and Xbox ones respectively, but like, come on, Now, the only thing I'm going to have a problem with Wind Waker is that it's going to be the original version with the longer, more painful Triforce quest.
Yeah.
And you can't get the better sail that just automatically controls the wind. You're going to have to manually change the wind every time you want to change direction.
Yes.
The HD version had some good QOL updates.
And it's not to say that they couldn't go back port it to those. It's just that this is Nintendo. They're probably not going to.
That'd be great if they did, but yeah, I don't think they will.
Or maybe they'll do a dual release where you have the OG version and an enhanced version that has those. Yep. That'd be nice.
I am going to pre-order this because I don't want to pay twice as much for it like I did with the 64 controller. Now, granted, I did get it from a Japanese seller, so it's like the packaging is all Japanese and everything, which is kind of cool, but that's just sitting in my closet.
Yeah.
It's not like I don't have it on display or anything, but...
Right.
I am planning on collecting all of the controllers for this. Since they seem they're going to be continuing doing this long term, and it's not like Virtual Console where you got to go buy everyone. It's just you pay the online price and then you just get all of them. And the more they expand, I mean, the last one I'm going to get is the Sega one, obviously, but
yeah.
Wait, I thought we had Genesis. Or wait, what's the difference between Genesis and Mega Drive? Are they the same?
Yeah.
That's right. The Mega Drive is the Japanese version of it.
It's only called Genesis here.
Right.
Every other country it's called...
the Master System was the first one.
Master System was the NES competitor.
That's right. Okay. That's what I...
And like I said, they only called it Mega Drive here.
Right.
In every other country, they only called it Genesis here. Every other country is called Mega Drive.
Yep. Have you played Undertale?
No.
Or... so this is a new game, right? But it's part of that world.
It's a separate game.
Yeah.
But it is, part of the world. I mean, the name is actually an anagram of Undertale.
Huh.
The name is Deltarune.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. That's one.
Cool.
Yeah, that's one my elder daughter was very happy to see that it's finally coming out.
I say I've seen a lot of good reaction for this, and it's like, well, okay, cool.
I mean, both games are very well regarded. Unlike him, a lot of people don't like him.
Put it away.
Exactly.
All right, put it away, Brandon. Put it away.
Nobody wanted to see that.
The raging boner you're about to get for Borderlands.
It's already subsided. I'm good. Talk to me again at launch. Yeah, Borderlands 1 was kind of bland, but it was an experiment. It was never meant to be as popular as it was.
Yeah.
The problem is that they're never going to beat Borderlands 2's storyline.
Yeah.
Every time I see for Axis, I'm like, XCOM 3, XCOM 3, XCOM 3.
If only. I do like that they have mouse controls for this game, though. That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. See, I'm okay with purchased upgrades when they add actual stuff to it.
Yeah.
If it's just a resolution bump, fuck that.
It's kind of funny how it used to be multiple developers made the sports games. You had Madden versus 2K. And now
they try to lock them down.
And well, that's the thing. 2K made all of them, and EA made all of them, and now they've all kind of blended to their own. They keep to their own franchises now, or their own sports, I should say. And then baseball, I think, is baseball done by EA? MLB The Show? Yeah, I think it's still EA.
I don't
No,
know.
it's not
I
EA.
think that's an in-house Sony thing now.
Mm-hmm.
It was EA.
It was.
I forget which developer, what the actual name is.
Yeah,
of it, but
there's
I would check, but apparently I left my phone somewhere. I can't find it.
I think it's the name of the city, the studio, whatever city it's in. I can't remember now.
that's why it was surprising to get the show on Xbox. Because
I thought we did.
Yeah,
we did.
Yeah, we did now.
Yeah.
It's by San Diego Studio.
That's what I thought.
Shame on me for not knowing that.
It's a continuation of what used to be 989.
This is where.
Oh, right. I remember that studio now.
This is
Yeah.
where the stream just shit itself.
Oh, for you?
No, for everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Remember, I was just listening to it
Right.
because I was working. So
Yeah.
I,
Oh, no.
For you, it sounded like everything was perfectly
The
fine.
audio was like a full trailer off at this point.
Yes. And
They
then it
really
flipped
fucked
and
it
started
up.
playing old audio, and then it finally fixed. It was weird.
Yeah. I
Damn.
don't even know how they managed to
Come
fuck it
on,
up that
this
bad.
isn't Sony. What are y'all doing with the audio problem?
For real.
Oh my god, I didn't think of that.
Oh, I'll never forget.
Oh, for real.
Like that had the potential to be like one of the best shows that they ever did, and it's just like I'm honestly glad that they went away from the live stuff.
Yeah, because they were really bad at it.
Because they were getting bad at it. Like I remember when Miyamoto tried to get the orchestra to play the Zelda jingle a second time, but like none of them spoke Japanese, and he went off script, and like nobody knew what to do, and like half the orchestra played it. It was so cringe.
Yeah.
You're replaying right now, aren't you?
What the play? Get by now.
Like I said, when Ultimate is at least half off on PlayStation, I'll get it.
Yeah, definitely get it on PlayStation. Don't get it on this, but
No.
it's just it's so good.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I've been jumping around between a handful of games lately because I did actually start playing Baldur's Gate 3.
Well, no, you were talking about playing 6, and I've seen you been playing.
Yep, I have been playing 6 a little
Cyberpunk.
bit. I got past the floating continent finally.
Yeah, because you were talking about how hitting the.
Hey, look at my background.
I know you were talking about how hitting the World of Ruin was such a huge tonal change.
Dude, it was. And me and Brandon discussed this because when he came over to kind of help test all this shit the other night, we were talking about it, and apparently I didn't know that because I ended up doing whatever that Sid died and Celeste tried to jump off the cliff, and he tells me that you can have Sid survive if you pick the right fish or whatever, but the way I did it is like more poignant, and I'm like yeah, I agree. That's I like that it got that dark. That they did that on a Nintendo console in the 90s.
Yeah, she really thought,
She
I'm the last fucking human alive.
Yeah.
I can't deal with this.
Yeah.
And then she survives that and she recognizes the freaking handkerchief. It's like, now wait a minute. This is like, I know this thing.
Yeah.
I would just I'm trying to think. I played a game. We were talking about the thing where she's on the raft and goes to the other continent, right?
Right.
And like the way the game portrays it, it's very quick.
Yeah,
it doesn't seem like she's been at sea for a while.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a game I played recently that you were stuck out at sea for a while.
Illusion of Gaia did it.
Yeah, it did. But no, there is a game called, I think it's just called Raft.
No. It's a excuse me. It was a JRPG.
Okay.
And it was like you joined up with the captain and you had to do a fake wedding. Oh my god, what game is this now?
I'm drawing a blank on that.
It's not sounding familiar?
No. A fake wedding?
Yeah. Like you oh, it's like on the tip of my tongue. I can like see it. Yeah, because you have to pick the right answers in order to get like the best outcome. Because it's a fake wedding going on because you have to trick the people in the town. Wild Arms. It was Wild Arms.
Okay.
Wow.
That's what it was. I forgot I was playing that for a bit.
That's one that I want a full-on remake of.
Me too, because there is way too much, like a lot of PS1 RPGs, way too much grind.
Yeah. You know what classic RPG I was thinking of going back and playing?
What's that?
I was actually going to do, of course, now that I open my mouth, I forget the name of it. Breath of Fire.
Oh, yeah. My God. The second one.
Oh, I was going to start on the first one.
The second one is...
The second one's phenomenal.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Here's your game.
Yep. So I found out more about this game, too. It is classified as PvPvE.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
8 players. You can fight each other, but there are world bosses and things to do. There's reason to co-op, right?
Mm-hmm.
There will also be like the giant moon thing that they show with the wings, that biblically accurate angel kind of a thing. You know, those are rare. Apparently, they don't show up regularly. So, and like if they do show up, basically, from what I understand, everybody will have to team up, or you will all die.
Huh.
That's fair.
So that sort of a thing, kind of cool. You know?
So it's essentially From Entertainment's version of Scalebound without the attitude.
Probably.
Did you see who was it? Miyazaki had to assuage people worrying of like.
That they're going to only make multiplayer games?
We're going to make single-player games, too, because now they have announced 2
because they have
multiplayer
2
games, and people are like, dude, what the fuck?
Right, yeah, because Elden Ring, Night Rain, which I'm still... Like, I want to play it, but it's not cross-platform.
It's just the worlds
and I don't really have
that
too
they
many...
create seem to lend themselves more to immersion for a single player.
Well, that's why you play Elden Ring. Yeah. It's like Night Rain is the multiplayer add-on to Elden Ring.
That's what it feels like, but from like the way they described it, wasn't that it was an add-on to.
Well, it's
Elden
not.
Ring.
It's a roguelike.
Right.
It is. Plain and simple.
They didn't describe it as DLC for.
Well, no, and it's not. But that's what I'm calling it, because it's not a single-player experience. If you like, you're saying, if you want that single-player immersive experience, you go play Elden Ring.
Yeah.
If you want the multiplayer experience, you play Night Rain. So, it's like, just like Mass Effect 3 we were talking about earlier, had its own multiplayer thing that was totally separate from the main game. It just happened to be on the same disc.
Mm-hmm.
Or the same download if it's digital.
Technically, it was kind of...
It was sort of integrated with the war things or whatever, but you didn't need to do it. You could get the best ending without ever touching the multiplayer.
What did they call that again? It was like Galaxy at War?
It was Galaxy at War. I'm trying to remember the war assets. Yeah, it would change your war assets based on your multiplayer.
It's been so long since I played it.
It is, yeah, and unfortunately the Legendary Edition doesn't have it, so...
Wait, what?
The Legendary Edition does not have multiplayer. Yeah, because the servers, they don't have any servers up for it.
Okay.
Well, no, I mean, it probably never had a really big following to begin with. It had a bunch of hardcore players like us when the original game came out.
A lot of people were playing it.
A lot of people.
Yeah, but a lot of people to us is a whole different thing for a lot of people we know general player base.
Yeah. But yeah,
that just reminded me of what's that game that some of the Witcher devs are making, Blood of Dawnwalker.
Yeah,
haven't seen anything from that in a while. That game looks really.
That
cool.
looks suspiciously like the Elden Ring runes.
Yeah,
I think I don't remember.
No, I agree.
Well, I mean,
I haven't played it.
Yeah.
Even if it's a different world, they can just keep elements that have worked from the previous games.
Yeah.
It's crazy how like these days FromSoft is known for Souls and Armored Core.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very different games.
I still need to play Armored Core, the new one. 6,
Yep.
I think. Yeah.
I have it. If you'd like to try it.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
You do?
I did buy it. That was another one. It was a little it was more justified me buying that one than Elden Ring, because yes, FOMO, but also I did play the original Armored Core back in the day. A buddy of mine had it.
Dude, I played a number of mech games back in the day. And Armored Core was one of them. I just can't remember which one. It was probably 2?
We need a Steel Battalion remake complete with new controller.
Dude, can you imagine what they would charge for that controller today?
Oh, easily $300.
Yeah, easy.
I think it was 200 at the time, wasn't it?
Something like that. Adjusted for inflation, it'll still be 200 at the time.
Yeah, it's the air ride.
Oh, this is the Kirby thing.
Yeah, this is
Air Raiders.
The creator, the Smash guy. What's his name?
That is definitely not
Sakurai.
something I would know.
Yeah,
Sakurai. Because this feels like a fucking Smash trailer, you know?
Well, what would be really cool is if it was actually a new mainline Kirby where there's something had stolen the star's power. Like make it like not necessarily a dark Kirby game, but a like a desperate Kirby game.
I mean, I'd be a lot more interested to try that than
that's what I'm saying.
Else
if they do like a like something stealing the powers and he has to come back from nothing to restore it.
Yeah.
Because in Kirby Superstar, the sub game Milky Way Wishes is more or less that style of gameplay. But because of the game, it's like just kind of a sub game.
Gotcha.
But as you go through, you don't have the normal absorbing powers ability. You have to find the powers and unlock them, and then you can switch between them like Mega Man style.
Oh, they followed Alien's naming convention.
Yes.
I approve of this.
That they then broke with 3, along with everything else about the franchise.
Yeah, it makes me surprised that you even own the quadrilogy on disc. Considering, half the movies in them suck.
He got them for the half that doesn't.
Well,
you gave me the DVDs when you got the Blu-rays. That's the only reason I own it.
Really?
Yeah, you don't remember that?
I don't remember that.
Yeah, because you got the Blu-rays for. You're like, here, watch these.
I bequeath to you.
Yes. It only took like another 15 years for me to actually become a fan of the franchise, but it's fine.
Dude, they really need to show an actual fucking trailer for Alien Earth.
Yeah.
We're like 2 months out.
Really?
It's summer. I mean, I guess they could bring it out technically on September 31st.
Is it going to be
still call it summer?
Is it going to be on Hulu? Or is it on FX?
Same thing.
Oh, so it will be on Hulu.
Yeah.
Good, because I have Hulu.
Yeah. But yeah, we still haven't gotten an actual trailer. Everything has just been like clips.
Yeah.
Like little scenes.
Hopefully that's not a bad thing.
That's what's worrying me is that they're worried about showing an actual trailer.
Yep.
They're probably just cutting it close on development.
That is very possible as well.
I mean,
they did the same thing with video games.
What was it? I think they dealt with. They had to deal with the SAG-AFTRA strike.
So I gotta imagine if you can pound and break everything, I'm sure there's gonna be a point where you can't jump up to a ledge. You might trap yourself, but if you can just make yourself a stairwell in the rock, then And
that's usually how the games with this kind of destruction work.
Yeah.
There's some kind of fail-safe where you're not going to be able to prevent yourself from completing it, or there's going to be a gameplay element that will allow you to recover such a thing.
Yeah.
And I don't remember if I had commented or not. I like that they put enough liveliness into the animation of Donkey Kong and the other characters that even during gameplay it looks like a CG movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not restricted to just the cutscenes.
It's wild how good games look these days. Like Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth, gameplay almost does look better than Advent Children.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, yeah, granted, they came out in 2002, but still, it's like the graphics for the time were fucking amazing.
Think about, like, back to Toy Story. That shit would take, minutes per frame?
Yeah.
And now we're doing better than that real time.
Yeah.
It's just neat how the technology progresses.
Meanwhile, it seems like CGI in movies has regressed.
That's actually a lot of that is studio decisions and trying to rush shit.
I know. I know.
Because yes, you're right. There are some that just look bad.
Yeah.
A lot of people point back to Pirates of the Caribbean
and Jurassic Park.
And Jurassic Park and the prequel trilogy.
I think that was the last announcement, right? That was the whole thing. Was it? Was there anything at the very end?
They said that was their last trailer, so this should be ending momentarily. Yeah. But yeah, they have actually pointed out that the CG quality in movies just isn't what it should be compared to what it can be.
Yeah.
But that's because a lot of it, like in video games, a lot of the graphic design that's put into it matters more than the actual rendering.
Yeah.
The design is going to take priority, which is why you can have a game like Super Mario Galaxy, which was made in 480p, upscale it to 4K, and it's still fucking gorgeous.
Yeah.
But some things lend themselves to upscaling way better than others.
Well, that's not even upscaling. That's just a higher rendering resolution. But that goes back to the graphics design.
Yeah, that was it.
So something that was meant to be photorealistic back then, it's not going to age as well.
Right.
Work to your hardware.
Okay. Do we want to? was that?
Yeah, we can go ahead and watch
It
the
was
other thing you were talking about.
vibration on my phone.
What's the question that you had wanted to
That's what
Make
I'm
sure you
grabbing
pause
right
this.
now. Yeah.
Okay, so this is the. I'm just gonna put this on while you ask your question. Just so it's only 3.5 minutes long, but it's like, especially when he runs outside, it's really significant how much better it looks. Like it's kind of crazy. It's actually like a generational leap for once.
It looks washed out on the Switch.
It is.
Like wow.
Well, Switch 2 has HDR.
It
so
doesn't look vibrant at all.
That room didn't. It was very bland.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So what's your question?
Okay. So it doesn't apply to this game, but specifically the whole conversation was coming out of Mario Kart World being $80,
Mm-hmm.
and generally the price of the Switch 2 also being on the higher end. With the Switch 2, $450 is like, yeah, I agree, it is on the higher end, but it's not terrible.
It's not egregious.
It's still high enough that I'm like, I'm not buying it for a while.
It's honestly around exactly what I thought it was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
I really did.
I was thinking 400 max.
Once I saw like what it's capable of, then I'm like, no, it's a full ass.
But anyway,
should be on par with the price of Xbox and PlayStation.
So the question is to either one of y'all, whichever one wants to, or if y'all want to both answer, Steel Man price parity for digital / physical copies of games. So in other words, give me a reason why you get to charge the same exact price for digital as you would for physical. And this is actually worse. Some of them, the physical is even more expensive than the digital.
So I've always thought, I would assume a physical copy should cost more than a digital copy because you have to print the thing. You have to you have to get the cases. You have to ship it. Like,
I was going to say, it's not
should
just
be
one
more,
thing.
It should be more expensive for a physical copy.
It is the disc.
But
it is putting the game on the disc. It is when they used to do booklets, the case for it, paying for retail space, all of that shit. Shipping it, the shipping part is actually probably the most expensive.
I bet I know where Matt's going with this. Go ahead.
So to me, I think about like, for us, the gamers, the hardcore players, we'll get what we want, whatever. But for
it looks like he's wearing a shell on his back.
Look at the difference in that frame rate. That's the worst frame rate in the game right here on the original.
Crazy.
It was rough.
It was in the 20s, if not lower.
Yeah, it was rough. Every time you came here, it was the same.
That looks so bad.
Yeah. So I think about younger kids with the parents buying the stuff for them.
Yeah.
They probably would rather get physical because they can just go to the store and buy it. They don't have to worry about navigating the online side of things.
Right.
In order to get the games to their kids.
In an environment that they're not accustomed to.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So like if you make the physical games considerably more expensive, and I don't even know what the difference would be, if it should just be like a $10 difference, a $5 difference, like what should the difference be? And if it's too much, then that's just going to push more and more people to digital.
Yeah, I would say 10 to 20 depending on the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So like what would happen with them? I'm the whole GameStop used market thing kind of going under almost, not going under, but like significantly less these days because digital is so prevalent.
Almost ubiquitous.
I wonder if that might be the final death knell for physical if they actually differentiated the prices.
So,
I mean, they've already kind of started doing that with stuff like Limited Run, where you get, they just make it, a little bit of it. And if people want to buy it, they buy it because most people don't buy physical anymore. We've hit that critical mass point where most people are buying digital.
Yeah.
So an element you might not have thought of. It's been talk in the industry for a long time that the games are becoming more expensive enough that they should raise the price of the games. They've been saying that for years at this point because games were...
But they did already. They already did raise it to 70.
No, they didn't.
Well,
games are still $60 right now.
A lot of the bigger publishers have started charging 70.
But as they shift to digital, that does reduce the publishing cost because they're not having to do the physical cases, the retail space like that.
Right.
Have you considered that that because of the shift to digital, that's actually subsidizing a lot of the physical and letting them maintain a current price?
I know you kind of broke my brain with that one too, but I came in.
So
I was doing something else. I came in halfway.
Repeat that.
Another way to put it, because they're not having to put as much money into the physical publication of the games, that keeping that digital at the same price it's reducing the load. It's reducing their publishing load. They're able to keep the games at that 60 and only recently getting to the 70 because their publishing cost has been lowered by not having to put out as much physical product.
That makes sense because they're keeping more profit.
I understand what you're saying, and actually, the main thing I thought one of y'all was going to bring up was they still have to host the game on servers for people to download.
That's provided by your publishing partner.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm not saying it's
which
not,
I mean,
I'm not
I was
saying
going to
it's
say
free,
they have to pay for it,
but that's going to be a thing whether you go digital or physical.
And that
it
was
matter.
and that was what I was going to come back with. It was like, well, they're already pushing shit because they have to patch it.
Mm-hmm.
So I was going to push back on that, but I'm surprised neither one of y'all said that. But yeah,
because I don't see it as an element in the pricing.
Yeah. Right. So.
And then because they all go fucking peer to peer with their multiplayer, they're not charging anything for the damn servers.
God, not having dedicated servers and not having Hall effect sticks in 2025 pisses me off.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I didn't think
just buy a SCUF controller.
Why would I want to do that?
No,
they put Hall effects.
Overpriced junk.
Yeah. Well.
But anyway, yeah, I hadn't thought about it like that they were.
And just
trying to subsidize it like that. I think personally that a lot of companies, and I think Ubisoft is one of the worst. They are probably the biggest offender on the global stage right now in gaming as having a bloated workforce.
Yes.
They have tens of thousands of people that work for Ubisoft. It's insane how many people they employ. And you don't need that many people to make games. I don't know why they have that many.
It probably so they can make the giant, huge, humongous games more often.
But it still takes them forever to make a game. It's obviously not helping them make them faster.
It's hurting cats.
It's hurting cats.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hurting cats.
Yeah.
I thought you said hurting.
No.
Yeah, I did too. I was
no.
Like, what?
I heart cats. No. It's the whole too many cooks spoil the pot.
Yeah.
Yes.
They have too many people involved, so they don't get as good a focus.
You need like your director putting everybody in the right freaking direction and everybody just going with it instead of every second somebody suggests something different.
Yeah. And if they want to have 10,000, 20,000 people, let them work on multiple projects.
What Ubisoft used to do that.
Mm-hmm.
They used to have a lot more stuff. And now with this whole Tencent merger possible thing, they want to whittle it down to Far Cry, Assassin's Creed, and what else? There was one other game.
Not The Division.
No, it's not The Division. No, it's not Skull and Bones. It is very obviously not Skull and Bones.
I saw something about a possibility of a Black Flag remake.
Yes.
Yeah, they were talking about that.
That could be cool.
Yeah.
It's funny too.
Assassin's Creed I really
the
liked.
video I saw
they
was
could have just made that instead of spending how long on Skull and Bones and how much money.
What I was about to say is the video I was watching. They were like, just take Black Flag, take the Assassin's Creed part out of it, and then release that as a game. And I'm thinking they did. It's called Skull and Bones, and it didn't work.
Yeah,
but no,
that's because it's not the same game.
I was about to say
it's
because
not?
they made it worse.
Oh,
they fucking ruined it.
Yeah,
that game is
they
horrible.
completely destroyed it.
It's like
I was like Sea of Thieves with no fun.
I was excited for it, and then it got delayed, and then Sea of Thieves got announced, I think, and then I'm like, oh, okay, cool, and then it came out, and then it's been out, and then it's been out, and then it's been out, and then Skull and Bones comes out after I'm all pirated out.
Out.
Actually, I've gone back to Sea of Thieves recently.
Yeah,
they've done some good QOL and.
You seem to constantly go back to Sea of Thieves.
It seems
it's a consistent game.
Yeah,
I'll give it that.
That's one of those if you're into it. Like, because I never got really into it. Like, it's fun to play with people, especially when we were doing those streams where we were all getting drunk and talking like pirates and telling bad jokes.
Christine's birthday stream.
Yes,
that was fun.
That was a lot. That
was really fun.
But I don't want to get drunk enough to be that stupid again because it hurts the next day.
Yeah,
we're too old now.
So, did we have any other points on that? Because I see we're ready to shift gears again.
Well, I mean, I have it up for just whenever we finish. I mean, we're at about we're only at like an hour 15.
You can move on. That was basically. I just thought it would be a better question for on stream than just asking it randomly.
Right.
So
No,
I'm
definitely.
thinking about
Especially in regards to $80 Mario Kart.
Yeah.
And actually,
an absolute joke.
So actually, I do have something to talk about regarding the pricing of games, because I mentioned this to you because you don't have any experience with Switch stuff.
Right.
Okay. I hope they continue the voucher program that they do, which the way that works, for those who don't know, you pay $100 plus tax, obviously, and you get 2 game vouchers. You can use those on select games. The nice thing is, Tears of the Kingdom, which is normally $70, is one of those games you can use. So you can potentially get, especially if you're going to get the online expansion pack with us, if you spend $100 to get Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom through game vouchers, and then you get a free upgrade, there you go. I say free upgrade because you're still paying for the online service. But I mean, the online service is it's very, very much worth having.
It's also the cheapest of the 3 by far.
I would be a lot more likely to just buy them outright, so that it wouldn't be like, okay, I stopped paying for the rental and now they take it away.
Well, I mean,
I just don't.
It remains to be seen if that upgrade is going to be a rented upgrade or a purchased upgrade. It may be like games with gold, where it's you buy it for free and then you keep it. That's an element we don't know.
That'd be very based if they did that.
That would be the ideal way to do it.
So we'll find out before it comes down to it. But I mean, it's because I would think that. Excuse me, because you could play, like, if you want to play all the classic Metroids again, right? Are you planning on doing that with the thing?
I'm thinking about it.
Yeah. So if you want to play,
like, I'm going to buy Dread. Period.
Yes,
I'm going to buy
100%.
Prime 4.
I when you get it, you're going to screen share, and I want to watch because I just want to watch you play it.
Maybe after playing for a little while.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
Yeah. Because that is a game I want to play and just immerse.
Oh yeah. Dude, I really hope. Even I don't know how they're going to do it. I really hope they put the 3DS version of Metroid 2 up.
That's what I want.
Even if it's like you got to buy it, like $20, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Because
the Game Boy one did not age well.
Because I think 2 is the only one I haven't beat out of the 5 mainline series.
If they just like update it a bit for the Switch 2, like.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. So
was it DS?
It's 3DS.
It was 3DS.
And the devs who made Dread made it.
Right.
So it plays like Dread does.
That's what I'm saying. It looks like it looks like Dread.
Yes.
Already. So if they just kind of updated it to work on the Switch 2 instead of, because it uses dual screens, right?
None of it's necessary.
Okay.
It's like your menu or your map or whatever. They could retool it a bit to make it play like
whatever
every
they needed
other
to
Metroid.
do to make it run properly and then drop it on Switch 2. Like, just do that. I mean, I'd pay $30 for that. Fuck.
If they just took the Dread engine and plugged it, if they could remake it in the Dread engine,
that's what I'm saying.
If that'd be viable,
like that.
Oh my god, I'd be right.
Even
Even at
like
full
that is
price,
exactly
I'd be into it.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be into that at full price. But you got Zero Mission, which is the GBA remake of 1 that has extra shit after you beat the main game.
Mm-hmm.
You do have the Game Boy version of 2, which is very rough, very hard to play because there's no.
I would just wait for the.
You can't access a map.
I would wait in hopes of them.
But then you have
doing a 3DS one,
actual classic Super Metroid.
Yeah,
and then you have Fusion on GBA, and then now we have Dread. So, and then we have Prime remake.
That's another one I would
as
pick
well.
up.
We have Prime 4 on the way. I mean, it's getting to where we're only down to a couple of games you can't play on the Switch. A couple of Metroid games, I should say. We're
assuming Echoes and Corruption, or
they're not. I think what.
Because those were Wii.
Hold on, I gotta bring it down. I got excited. They were all on the Wii, yes, but I believe it was said, it might have been rumored, I'm not sure, that they wanted to see how the Prime 1 re-release would do before they committed to doing 2 and 3.
I'm sorry, Echoes was not Wii. Echoes was GameCube.
You're right.
Corruption was the only one that came out on Wii.
I keep thinking about the trilogy on Wii. That's why I was That's why I was like, oh yeah, it's on the Wii.
I was like, even I remember that. I didn't have.
I remember getting stuck on Echoes. Like I just
stopped playing it at some point.
I got to a point where I could not figure out how to advance, and I think it was at the time. It was kind of very early GameFAQs days. But
I definitely wasn't. I wasn't stuck. I wasn't necessarily I wasn't having a hard time with it either. Like it wasn't too difficult, and I wasn't stuck. I just stopped playing it for some reason, and I don't remember why.
Yeah,
it was so long ago.
I did beat 3 though, one time.
Yeah, 3.
I only played it once.
Yeah, I only played it once too, but it was enjoyable.
I think I only beat the first one once as well, and I have it. I have the remake.
I probably only.
The
beat the
weird
first one
thing
once.
about the modern controls for it though, because you can have your A button or your trigger. They're both mapped to your blaster.
Mhm.
So if you want the twin stick thing, you got to use the trigger, right?
Yeah.
But it's like hitting it that. I mean, you think about how fast you shoot with the A button. Doing that with the trigger, it's not as intuitive. It's weird. But if your thumb's on the A button, you can't look around the same. You can't do your twin stick look around. You have to play more classic style, where you didn't have a camera option.
Yeah, the thing I remember, or the thing I think I love the most of the Prime trilogy was Talon Overworld 4.
Oh, the music?
Yes.
Yeah, so good.
Or Talon 4 Overworld?
Talon 4 Overworld.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Findrana Drifts was right behind it.
Also good.
Yes.
Well, it's too bad I can't just easily plug in my Nintendo app to this, and we. Obviously we have YouTube, but I'm not going to look it up.
And you just saying that, I can hear the piano from you just saying Findrana Drifts.
Oh yeah, so it and I think it was the same. It was not the same composer, or was it the same composer that did Prime?
I don't think it was.
I don't think it was, but they
I'm remembering
they took inspiration from
I'm trying to
Super
remember the name
because they were up to Super and at that point. So
I don't remember the name. I'd have to look.
Super had such good music. Like I'll occasionally just put like a let's play of somebody playing it just so I can listen to the music and the sound effects of the game and just sort of like an ASMR just in the background while I'm doing something else. Absolutely can do that.
For sure.
All right.
What are you going to bring up next?
I'm actually getting hungry.
Oh, okay.
And it's almost 5. We're gonna go eat soon.
I was gonna say, are we still doing Ichiban? Fucking A.
100%. But we have something to watch.
Okay.
None of us have actually seen. So this is an actual react, not just a recap.
Oh, that's right. I forgot you had something like that.
Yep.
Cued.
I don't know how loud this is gonna be. So
we'll find out.
120 miles per hour, lefties heading northbound. Unit 12, acknowledging dispatch. Already in pursuit.
I'm looking for something. Something I do not understand.
I mean, I'm already sold.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess Clue got what he wanted. He wanted to go into the real world.
He found a way.
I was gonna say, who's doing the soundtrack? Last time it was Daft Punk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
didn't they retire?
Yes.
Because there's no going back.
Ooh.
That's exactly who I thought it was. That is exactly who I thought was doing the soundtrack. I was like, it's got to be freaking Reznor and Atticus Ross.
Oh, hello, Max Verstappen.
But yeah, that was kind of spoiled for me. I saw a glimpse of the trailer when I went to find some music.
Oh, really?
On the way here.
I yesterday
it popped up and I was like, oh, check that out.
Yesterday, Jeff Bridges shared just like a 5-second clip of the bike, the light cycle, and I was like, oh, okay.
That's a thing.
And then I was like, wait a minute, that's like out. That's in the world. That's in the real world. I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm curious to see because the end of Tron Legacy, they stopped Clue from getting out.
Mm-hmm.
He reabsorbed himself, so in giant explosion. So what is going on? I'm actually genuinely curious, and that felt, even those 9 Inch Nails, like now that
still felt good.
I didn't realize it was 9 Inch Nails, but now that I hear it, it's like, oh, I kind of tell. It sounds like this.
It definitely
sounds like fucking Cyberpunk 2077.
I was gonna say it definitely feels a bit darker and more like Cyberpunk.
Yeah,
I'm here for it.
I think the darker tone fits what we see in that.
Yes,
yeah.
That this is way worse as a situation.
This is going to be The Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah,
like the dark one.
Yeah,
even though it's the third in the trilogy.
I think that's what I'm going to have to listen to on the way to Ichiban.
That sounds like a plan to me. All right, well, I think we can cut it here. Hour and a half's good.
Yeah.
That's our usual thing.
Yeah.
So thank everybody for joining us. We will be back
At
eventually.
some point.
So until
and maybe you will or will not know that we just haven't been around.
It's possible. All right.
Who knows?
Anyway, be good or be good at it. And until next time.
Later.